New viewers, check this out. Your minds will be blown. I'm going to show you in 3 different ways, micro, midterm, and macro, why Bitcoin doesn't have permission to go up anytime soon in the sense of a reversal. And I'm going to do it right now. And by the end of the video, I'm going to finesse things down. So I said right now, let's jump right into it. From the micro sense, this is a micro channel dating back from July, late July of this year. Does it look like Bitcoin is going to reverse up and out of this channel? No, it does not. It just broke back in, got rejected by the top line, and is making lower lows. All right, that's the micro. Now let's go to the midterm. This goes back to the 69K top. It's essentially a macro channel, but it's smaller than my next one that I'm going to show you. So Bitcoin has had a two bull traps above this line, has recently fallen back into this channel. Let's zoom into this section right here where Bitcoin fell back in. We're going to zoom. Go to the 15-minute chart. Does it really look like Bitcoin is getting ready to just break out and have some type of a phenomenal run? No, it just broke into it, and it's about ready to get rejected by this line or this line and then come back in and keep going down, right? All right, and then the largest chart that I have on here is right here. So this goes back to the very, very beginning of price. I'm on the 2-day chart, All right. So once Bitcoin in general breaks below and uses as resistance, like any line, whether it's this line breaks below, use that as resistance, you have to touch the next one down, loosely put, unless you're in a bull. So that's if you come from above to go below it, right? The same rule doesn't apply in a bull market. So in a bear market, when you come below a line, you use it as rejection, you have to hit the next one down. So let's zoom into here to see what's happening. This is all of Bitcoin price, 12 years of price history here. So Bitcoin has gone below it twice now. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. The same damn line has broken below it. Quick fake out both ways, really. Boom, 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 back to the middle, and then failed it again, is making a lower low. On a macro sense, it's not going up anytime soon. It has to hit the next line down. That is the rules of how this works. And the next line down is coming in at, boom. If it were to hit it by October 1st, it would be around $14,900. Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to finesse things down to lead into the FOMC to show you how I think 2 ways that whales are going to manipulate price. So you're ready for it, because it could have a 10% range, 5 on each side, middle point, 5 up, 5 down. It can really mess you up if you're trying to play the charts and you're not aware of what's getting ready to happen and how whales play the games. Let's go get some frickin' Bitcoin. In general terms, high impact economic data, depending on which type of high impact news is coming out, whether it's CPI data, which is inflation, or FOMC, typically whales like a range of 6% up and down. So 3 from the middle, 3% that way, 3% this way for 6% total. On lower impact data and FOMC, a lot of times on Bitcoin historically, since I guess 2021 when I started looking into this, is this up and down range is a 10%. And so then that is what I'm about ready to do and how I think I'm going to finesse price for you, because I'm keeping that in mind. Big money, they're always pissing with price on CPI releases and FOMC, right? FOMC, they have more of a range because it happens in the middle of the day. They can run float price the opposite way of the main volatility. Then at 2 p.m. Or at 1:30 before 30 minutes before he speaks, spike it the other way, and then come back to the middle for a 10% total range. Right? And I'm going to put this on the micro chart that I showed you earlier, and I might have to mix a macro line right here. There are 2 options I feel that this could go down, and all that's happening today on Monday the 19th / Tuesday the 20th, maybe when you're watching this if you're in Europe, this is valid, through Wednesday the 21st, is the only thing Bitcoin price is doing right now, it's being massaged. Literally, that's it. It's a setup for what is going to happen on Wednesday, and if whales like 10% total, then they need price on Wednesday or Tuesday night to be not just below major resistance, because they need it to go above that. And it does. And looking down, Bitcoin needs to be not so far down where it's, about ready to hit a floor, where other buyers not a part of their plan will have heavy volume buying. So they need it between those two. And so all that's happening is they're finding a nice middle point between where they think other people who aren't a part of their plan are going to put in heavy sell selling into a rally, selling into upward volatility, or buying into downward volatility. And on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. And I think there are two main options. So right now, price is just going to float. Nothing crazy is going to happen until Wednesday, FOMC. All right, so let's go check this out. And what we're getting ready to look at here is the 15-minute chart, and this is what's on my live stream for my YouTube tiers and Discord community. They can watch price live, bounce with my levels, and I had a few people geeking out yesterday. I let them know, hey, this is getting ready to drop. I guess I could show you that real quick. So BTC is getting ready to roll over right now, and it did it about 50 minutes later, but I could tell just from this how it interacted with this micro channel line, hit my next level down, and then hit my next level down almost precisely right there, and people were geeking out about it. But if you wanted to watch this, be able to really help guide yourself, I offer this 7 days a week or as many days a week as I can do it to my Discord and YouTube, higher YouTube tier community called the Cryptillion tier on YouTube. And again, the links to that YouTube tier are down below. It says join right. There's a join button right below the subscribe button. And this is a good time for new viewers to go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell with all alerts. The visual instructions and the Discord invite link are in the description section of all my videos. And my Twitter handle is Cosasverdes with the number 2. So if you're a new viewer and you like what you see so far, because I have the sexiest charts in all of crypto, that's a fact, then go ahead and make sure you are subscribed, hit the bell for all alerts, because I'm going to help guide you in your journey. So let's check out what folks have been watching on my chart since about here. Are you ready? Get ready. Here we go. Yeah. Come on. Boom. Wait for it. Here it comes. Boom. Boom. Below the macro channel top. Boom. 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 There we go. That brings us to current price. All right. And so that's what you could have been watching had you been part of the community, and you can see what you're missing out on. So basically what happens here is after 5 years studying charts, I have a strong idea. I'm not always right, obviously, but I have a strong idea of what's in play. And a lot of times, if I'm even 100% correct on what's in play, sometimes I'm not perfect. I fail to interpret the correct way Bitcoin price will use them as bumpers. So essentially it's, in pinball, in old school, like 80s and 90s, and 70s, what people played in arcades, pinball machines, Bitcoin price is the pinball, and my lines are just the bumpers. So I can tell where it's going, but it's a question of how does it interact? Does it hit the bumper and go left, or hit the bumper and go right? Sometimes I get that analysis right or incorrect. However, what I typically am always correct about, not always, but very, very high percentage chances, is understanding what is in play. Where are the micro pivots? Okay. And again, I need to keep this video short because I got to put the live chart back on for my community here. So check this out. There are two general options on what's about ready to happen. See this macro channel line? This is the orange. So this orange line is from the second chart I showed you that went back to the 69K top here. So this green line is the orange one, and I need to go to the 4-hour chart to show you. This is what I started the video, 69K top. That orange line is this guy, and it's broken back below it. All right, so the most I can see really happening if I zoom into here is a failure pattern above. And so how does this deal with whales? So you can't go too much above this because it needs to come back in. So what is the two general options for whales to have a 10% play without immediate overhead? So they need up and down 10%. Okay. So they don't want immediate support and they don't want immediate resistance. They want price on Tuesday evening or on Wednesday morning to be somewhere in the middle of those two. There are two middle points that I can see happening. Let me go back to the micro chart now that we understand what we're looking at. This is the top, the green line that's descending is the top of the micro channel. All right. And I need my origin line on. So I can see the top of the micro point of control and the origin line up here. Let's measure. That is almost exactly 10%. So a middle point to that is somewhere about here, just under. So on Tuesday night or Wednesday, if you see Bitcoin price somewhere close to 19.7, get your pencil out or pen and take notes. You see it close to 19.7, then I think that's going to be the whale play. It's that simple. That's simple. Because it kind of takes this out of the running as resistance if you can consolidate under it. Because fewer people will defend this and become sellers. Fewer sellers will defend this. So if by Tuesday it can have accumulated under here a little bit, then it takes this out essentially. It removes a lot of sellers from the equation. Now you have sellers into the origin line, which I don't know why it works, but it does. It goes back 12, 13 years. It's just a lot of sellers will step in there. I don't know why, but it's true. And then the top of the point of control for a 10% range. What I also can see happening for roughly a 10% range is about a 2% failure pattern above. Sometimes you get 1 or 2%, somewhere like that. So you see how that says 1.7% above, maybe up to here. And then a small dip below, kind of like this, below the bottom of the point of control. And so from bottom to top, that's more than they need. Yeah, there you go. From bottom to top, right there. So the middle of it would be if you see Bitcoin price on Wednesday closer to about 19,000 and change, somewhere between 1899 or 19,100, somewhere around there, then whales will likely during FOMC or a couple hours before will either float price up around, by 130, and then after he starts speaking on Tuesday, then it slams down to 18,000 for about a 10% range there. You see that? Or it could go down first. So it could be here on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, go down first at around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, New York time, spike up, and then go back to the middle. I don't know which way the first middle play is. So the first play in the move, the move has three parts. You float one direction, the opposite of the big volatility, and then you get the big volatility, and then you go back to the middle. Or you start floating down before FOMC, get the big volatility move up, and then back to the middle. Does that make sense? But regardless, all I need to understand is the top and bottom, right? I don't need to guess. If I know the range, then it's helpful to know what the whales are thinking if they're going to float it down, but you'll be able to see it in the price. Just wait till, Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, and for Europeans, that's really convenient because at about noon, you'll be able to check, okay, it looks like it's floating up. So the big volatility play at 2 p.m. or 1:30 or whatever might be straight down. Europeans kind of have an advantage on this, a little bit of advantage, especially if you can take a lunch break or something. All right. So in the meantime, before then, though, let me put back on my, and again, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do that right now, returning viewers in community to help me out here and help out the algo. So now that we understand that, in the meantime, Bitcoin can just float around here until Wednesday and start consolidating under this line. But before then, I don't think whales will take Bitcoin much above, more than a failure pattern above this line before, by Tuesday. So a Tuesday it goes like this, then it comes back and then accumulates under this line on Wednesday. So the highest I see in price happening before, Wednesday is 20,156 is a failure pattern above the monthly resistance. So you have a monthly resistance horizontal here. Okay, and it's the top of the micro channel. Failure pattern above both of those before Wednesday is as high as I see Bitcoin price going in the next 48 hours before the fake out, before the whale play happens, right? I don't think Bitcoin has a very, very, very small chance of going anywhere above there, okay, before the volatility begins for FOMC September 21st. Does that make sense? So before then, the price isn't going to do jack shit, really. Remember, price is literally just being massaged. They're just trying to find a middle point. And then again, to the low side, I mean, I don't think that this the monthly wick lows are going to be taken out before FOMC either. So to the downside, the range in general before the FOMC whale game play, the lowest I can see it going is a higher low to this one and down at 18.55. So again, this is a fairly big range, but in general, I don't see a massive capitulation and I don't see a massive breakout where Bitcoin's going to play with an extremely high likelihood between those 2 points in an 8% range. And it's a little bit more likely it plays closer to the middle. For example, it bounces off the top of the point of control and then goes back to here. And then on Wednesday, morning is here, something like that, right? It's more likely that it plays closer to the top of this macro line or plays close to 19.5, which is the monthly cliff from which it fell. So I think price won't deviate too much from 19,560, that number exactly, before Wednesday. I think it's only going to be about 3 to 4% above or below Monday through Tuesday to get you, about 48 hours of price action in the parameters that whales are pretty much going to limit themselves to. Because they don't want to run it too high because they're going to be too close to resistance and they can't play their games. They don't want to run it too low because they're going to run on strong support and they're not going to be able to play their games. Does that make sense? So they're essentially self-limiting themselves right now. Click this playlist right here if you want to have access to the most important YouTube crypto videos I've ever made. And click this video right here if you want some food for thought on why missing the bottom and not guessing it correctly on crypto doesn't even matter. I prove it to you mathematically. Plus, just visually in the charts, it might be very helpful so you don't have any anxiety about it. So, yeah, Typified Worldwide. Peace.